Okay, so we are building the application to show how to change between activities. So far, we just create an activity with this button here. Just make an introduction. You'll see the video. So what do we need? We need three things for an activity. We need one Java class for it. We need also one layout XML for it. And also we need to put here on the manifest, declare here on the manifest also the activity. Okay? Before we need to do that all by hand. Okay, create the tree, make all the changes. Now we can do file, new, and we have here activity. And we have all that activities that we have there. Okay? We can choose the empty activity one. So we can create another activity. Okay, so I choose here, and you ask for me what the name I'm going to keep. I'm going to call it not main activity, will be second activity. It also generates a layout file. I can have without it, but I want to keep it. I could change to be the launch activity, to be the first one that will appear to the user. I could change the package. Java, you can organize code in packages. Normally it's kind of like easier if you keep on the same package, but if you're going to work, develop a library or something like that, maybe you want to separate in different packages, okay? And also we could work with Kotlin as well, okay? We could have on the same project, work with both languages. Not on the same file, but on different files, okay? So, and then finish. And what it did, you can see here that we have here a second activity. We have also here a second XML for it, for the out. And also here, if you go to the manifest, we have also here another activity here. Okay, second activity, just exported false. Why exported false? Because it doesn't have access outside the application. It means what? You can only go to the second activity if inside the application. So you cannot be called for another application, it cannot be clicked and open it, okay? Normally, it's more protected this way. That's why I have this exported auto. Okay, so now we have the second activity. When the user clicks the button, let's go here, activity main. Let's put an activity here, button, the idea. For me, button is good. So here on the main activity, I'm going to call it here button equals find view by ID, r.id.button. Okay, so I got the button. So in order for us to see another way for you to do the click, we could also create here a function, just like we did with the calculator, and create the functionality when it clicks. But we can also do it here with the button itself. We could set on click listener. Okay, so when the user click, we have a listener. A listener is a design pattern. Design patterns like common problems in code that have common solution as well. This one is called listener. Why is that? Because keep listening. Whenever a click is pressed, it listens to it. Okay, so it's the listener. So every time it clicks, it goes to this function. We can have drag listener as well, hover listener, click listener, long click listener when the user presses and leaves the finger on for some time. Okay, that way we could implement more functions than just a click. Okay, but here let's put the click listener, and now we are going to new, and now it appears to me view.onClickListener. Now it's important normally for you to use the autocomplete because there's a lot of code that's going to bring up here. Okay, so when I press OK here, it implements the onClickListener with a function here. Okay, with a function onClick. So whenever it clicks, it goes to this function here. Similar when we implement it. We see the same pattern. Public void, the name is on click, okay, but view, okay? Now, I want to do what? Whenever it clicks, it goes to this function here, that I want to go to the second activity. So, as I said before, we use intents for it, kind of like intention. So we're going to create an intent. So let's create this intent. So intent equals new intent. Now the intent needs two parameters in this construct. Okay. First, what it needs? The context. The context for what? The context can create other component. In this case, it's going to create what? A whole other activity. A whole other also context, okay? So, I'm going to go here. The name of my class dot this. So, I have the pointer of itself. Then I want, at sex parameter, you need to know what? What he's going to create. What he's going to create? The second activity, and you're going to pass the structure of it, okay? The class. Let me take this off here, okay? Now we have the intent. Okay, now what we need to do? We have the intent, now we need to start this activity by calling start activity, passing this intent. Okay. Now let's test it to see what happens. So we have here, go to second activity, you press it, another activity appears. Okay. Or if you're going to back on the first one. Normally we can have a button for that or something like that, but normally we use the back button. And if you press the back button, normally it closes the application. Okay. Normally the activity has like a stacks of activities. What does mean? We have like here, for example, the main activity. It showed to the user, okay? Then we call the second activity. It puts another one on the stack. Then if you call another one, put another on the stack. When you press back, it removes the last one. Remove the last one, remove the first one, then go back to the home screen. Okay, so kind of like keep piling up, okay? Okay, just to make a little better, let's change here, set title. Just to have different, with the set title, I'm not going to put on the swing file just so we don't lose a lot of time, but you know that we should do that, okay? We should put on the swing file. And here on the second activity, let's also, after set content view, let's put here second activity. Just for us to know where we are, okay? Okay, so now, first activity, so we can change this title here. And second activity as well, okay? And back. Okay, good. Okay. Now maybe you want to pass information between activities. Maybe the second activity needs to know something about the first one, okay? We have a lot of ways of doing that, okay? We could pass as an extra inside this intent, is the form that I'm going to show you. We could also like have a place that we could save the information, like a file, and then open the other one. It's not the most common way, but can be done. And we could also use a singleton. That's another design pattern that you could use for share information between different classes. Okay. I'm going to choose here EXO to pass information. Let me just to show another component. Let's put here one switch button. Like I said yesterday, like we have a lot of buttons that has the same thing, like the switch, the checkbox, and the toggle, pretty much the same thing. Just change a little bit the design. Let's put the constraints for it. Give me error here. Oh, about the size. You want the size to be bigger. And also it's saying the material is not right anymore, but it doesn't have automatic fix. So I'm going to keep this way and also keep this one here. Okay. So here I'm going to get the, we call it switch. Oh, switch is reserved for Java, okay. Switch button. Okay, so we have here switch, just on and off. So, on, off, on, off. We could, if it's on, you could put one information. If it's off, you put another. Okay. Here I don't want to, I will not be using this switch anywhere else, okay? So I can do find view ID, r.id.switch button. Then I could get checked, I don't recall. Let's put here get I think he is checked. Sorry, it's checked. If it's on, if it's off. Okay. I'm going to create here string message equals empty. If is checked, message equals checked, on, else message equals off. Okay, now we need to put content as an extra here for the intent. Okay, how we could do that? Intent dot put extra. Okay, we could put any type of value. Okay, any type of value, any type of Java, like integer, bytes, boolean, floats, arrays. Okay, here I'm going to put extra, and this extra is kind of like what? It's kind of like a hash map. What is a hash map? I don't know if you guys know, but you have arrays, right? That you can like define, that you have like multiple items. For example, 1, 2, 4, 6. And now item 0 is this one, item 1 is this one, item 2, item 3. So with the index, you can get the value with it. The index normally is a number, an integer number. Okay? And we have also hash maps, or the language called dictionaries. Instead of you have numbers here, you can have other types of variables for it. You can have, for example, a string. So you can define, for example, here, extra is, you could have like info or switch, and for this switch have the information on. So instead of index with number, you could index with string. Okay, and could have another one for like info life is good, for example. So for the index info, you have life is good. For the info switch, you have on. Okay. So the extra is kind of like this. So you can put, you have always a name or a key and a value. So the value will be message, and the name will be, in this case, switch. Switch. Okay, so now, and one thing, you need to put the extra before you start the activity. Okay, if not, you will not be passing the message to the other activity. Okay. So let's go to the second one.
It's a semicolon.
What?
Semicolon.
Oh, here. Yes, thanks. Okay, now on the second activity, we need to show somehow. Let's show the set title so it'll be easy, okay? Now let's show it like this. Let's put here a button also on the second activity. Here, button. Also, let's put the constraints. Like this, okay? I call it, text will be go to June 3rd activity. And if the button is true, I'm going to go to going to appear this button. If not, this button will not appear. Let's do it like this. So it'll be easy, okay? The idea will be button 2, okay? I could use the same idea as button 1. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, sure, great. Because before they allow it for you to have multiple buttons. Button, second. Perfect, okay, good. Before it allowed for you to have the same ID for if they were on different activities, and that gives all kind of trouble before. But okay, go to 3rd. Now let's have this ID here. So now here we are going to have button second it receives find view by id r.id dot button second. Okay, great. Now I want to get this extra from the intent. Okay. One thing that we have is what? Every activity normally always come from what? From an intent. It can only appear with intent. Even when you press the icon in the operating system to show the application, it will create an intent to open the application. Okay, so we can get this intent. Okay, so we get the intent. The intent is what? Is this one that we created here. But this, because this one here on the first screen is calling the one on the second. And we could also get what? Get the extra. The extras that was put there. And now we can use it. Okay? This comes as a bundle. Bundle. What is a bundle? A bundle is kind of like could say it's kind of like a box that you put all sorts of things there. So you could put strings, you could put arrays, you could put a lot of information there. Okay, and they call it a bundle. Okay. Now we need to check what? If this bundle is not null. Why is that? Because the bundle can be null. If we don't put any extra, it will be null. Okay, so you need to check. It's a good practice. Okay. Now we need to get string as receives bundle dot get. We could get a string. We could get byte. It depends on what type of information we are going to put. Get, actually going to get the string, because we put there the string with the name, I don't recall, the name switch. Let's copy it so I don't make any mistakes here. No. Okay, now we have the string. So if s equals, I put uppercase or lowercase, on, I'm going to button second set visibility to visible, else to invisible. Okay, so oops. Okay, everything good?
So could you explain this visible, invisible thing?
It visible, it will appear to the user. It will be visible. Invisible will not appear to the user. So what you are going to do? We are just going to, let me see here. We have here the property visibility that you can have. Visible is the default. Invisible, no one sees. And we have also gone. Gone means it doesn't exist. Okay, you could put that property. It means it will not be created. Gone will be like what? Invisible. You have all the constraints. So if you have another one that depends on this one, it will still be okay. When you put gone, it will like be always doesn't have any constraints, so move anything. Okay. So let's start as visible just to have that. Okay, and let's play and see what it shows. Okay, So it's off, go to second, is off, go back, on, go to second, it's still off. Anybody knows why? This is kind of like a trick question. It's because of Java. I would think the more intuitive way for you to compare strings will be like this, right? But it's not like how Java does it. Java, when you're comparing these are comparing two objects. So you compare if they're both the same object. So you could compare with another copy of this one or something like that, okay? So to compare the content of the string, we need to call a method of the string. So we need to do something kind of like this: s dot content equals or equals ignore case. That way you don't care if it's uppercase or lowercase. Okay, let's check now. So let's turn it on, go to second, it appears, go back one. There we go. Okay, so far so good.
Sir, can you repeat the use of bundle? I am confused.
The bundle is a special type of class
Okay.
from Android.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it kind of like, you can think as a box
Okay.
that you can put stuff on it and pick up from other places and that kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay. So get extras was made in first main activity, right?
Yes, the extras was made here.
Yeah.
So everything that you put here as extras, it put inside a bundle.
Mm.
A bundle of the intent that you can pick up from another key and so on. Actually, when this X is also used for example, if you want on your final application to work with cameras, you can if you want. Okay? A camera, normally you're going to set the camera what you're going to use. You're going to use the front camera, going to use the back camera. You can turn the flashlight on if you want. Okay? Everything setting that you're going to do, you're going to call the camera with what? An intent.
Yeah.
And all the sets you pass as access.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to pass the right access so you have the right configuration on your camera. Okay?
Sir, I'm getting an error in the switch.
The switch, let's see. Cannot find. Let's see for. Yeah.
So for me also there's some linking error or something.
Random problem. Let's see. Normally go to code. Probably it's not finding. I can see string. Switch is not find that. Let's see here. Don't switch file. I switch, but can't find it. Because you call it by the name, not the text itself. Okay, so what's not here? Let's change it here too. Now let's design. There you go. Oh, check on YouTube. Look of VTX how to turn it on, because they use like hardware acceleration. If you put it on, it will make it faster and you'll be able to run the. Yeah, you need to go to the BIOS on your on the laptop. Okay.
I'm getting error in this conflict listen.
Did you copy the code that I put there, or did you
No, sir. The one you were doing,
you do the also the update?
बंद करने टाइम जो सिस्टम से भी रहेगा वहाँ से बैंक ऑप्शंस होते हैं
So shut down करने के बाद
रीस्टार्ट कर वो वाला बटन दबा नेक्स्ट ऑप्शंस वाला उसके अंदर ही बायोस सेटिंग्स होता है F5
Okay, you want to use the update because there's a lot of mistakes that could be made.
yeah, I write the override.
Yeah,
my
तो देख लिया
Yeah, probably you could do all this right by yourself, but the chance of a mistake is very high.
Exactly.
क्रैश होता है
एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहता है ना ये लोगों का नया वाले में क्या रहता है
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
you're
क्रैश
welcome.
होता है छोटा मोटा वायरस वाला आता ही नहीं कोई लोग क्रैश करवा देते हैं ऐसी बात है करने को डर लगा क्या बात कर
ऐसे दबाया तो सीधा ऊपर से चालू होता है.
तो उसको उड़ाएंगे
So now let's create another activity, a third one. Okay, so far another way for you to create it, you could also press here with the right button and you have a new and you create a new activity. Okay, so let's create here another empty activity.
One
Yes.
question, since I saw that there's login activity, so these are like templates already set?
Yes, they are red templates, but some of them work with other type of components. For example, the here doesn't appear, but the navigation, the
Login
fragment, they use fragments for parts of the screen. I didn't show you fragments yet, but they have the same principle that's close to the activity, but the idea is to what? Think of you have like an application that you want to work with mobile and tablet. And you have like on the tablet you have like a menu, for example, that you open and closes, and on the tablet you always show the menu, for example. Okay, you could define this menu as a fragment, the other screen as a fragment. They are parts of the activity.
Okay.
Okay.
So one activity is the bigger picture. Instead
Yes,
of that, the
and you can have the fragments.
fragments.
I think I don't know for sure, but I think this login activity works with fragments.
Fragments.
Yes. Okay.
हाँ अंदर से बड़ा हो गया
So I'll start another empty activity. Okay. Let's call it third activity. Third activity, also with the layout file. Okay.
Sir,
And-
what if we accidentally don't check the create a layout file, and after that we wanna create a layout file after creating the activity?
Let's do that. Let's try that. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. So I will not generate the layout file. Okay. When it creates, you see here, it doesn't call the set content view because it doesn't have a content view. Okay. And it didn't create here layout file, but we can create it here by new layout resource file. Then we call it activity underscore third. We want to put on the directory name, okay? And you could put all disqualifier. Why do we want all disqualifier? Why does it have that? Because you can have, for example, it's good for you to ask because you can talk a little bit about this. You could have, for example, one activity for specific resolution. For example, you could put here, oh, in this orientation, landscape, you have a different XML for layout than we have on Portrait. Okay, you could have, for example, for some locale, for some country code. For example, Arabic have the written from right from left. Sometimes you want to make the interface a little bit different because of that. Also for night mode, you could have something like that. Okay, but we are not going to deal with that. Okay, because let's keep it simple. Okay, then it's created here, but now we need to go here, and after the super on create we need to set content view r dot layout dot activity third. Okay. Just make it easier for us, since you don't have to create everything. Okay. One thing that also happened is that put already here for us the activity. Okay. We could also doesn't create like new activity. Could create new Java class and do everything by hand. Okay. But normally the templates help us a little bit. Okay. Before, a couple of years ago, like I think 4 years ago, we didn't have this. So we need to create everything by hand. So a common mistake was to forget to put here on the manifest, because it doesn't work a lot with manifest to declare there. Because every activity that you're going to use on your application needs to be here. So here the third activity, second activity, and main activity. If you take one off, for example, let's take the second activity off. It fails because it can't find the activity because not declared on the manifest. Okay. Okay. Now on the let's set title also. So we have the same pattern. So this is third activity. Now I want to do what? Let's a little bit bigger. Now I want, when it's on the second activity, press the button, go to the third one. Okay. So second activity. We have the button, right? Yeah, here the button. Button second. Set on click listener. Just to make something a little bit different, let's set on long click listener. Okay, so it creates a long click. Okay. And we have the on long click and return false. Why do we need a return for the click? So false. Anyone has any idea about that? Why do we have a return for the on long click?
If we don't press it long enough.
No, actually is a long clickless is also a short click.
Yeah.
So this is mean like what? If you want to listen to long click, maybe you want to listen also to the click. This means, oh, long click, don't propagate my click. Because if not, it will be a long click and also a click. So if I return false,
It will stop.
it will not stop. It will actually, if I return true, it will stop and the click will not be listened. If I return false, the click will also be listened. Okay? And
So can you explain again? I didn't understand.
okay, so you long click. Okay, for example, button. It calls here on long click. But think if you have another function here that's just for the click, on click, on click. If this is return false, that means keep propagating the click, because a long click is also a click. So it will call also the on click function here. So you call the both functions. Some maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. Depends on the application. That's why it keeps here as a return, so you can decide. Okay? Because all the gestures are also clicks. A swipe is a click that then you drag also. Pinch also. They are also clicks. Okay. So now on long click, I want to go to the third activity. So intent equals new intent, call it, so we need a context, second active dot this, and then what we are going to create, third active dot class. Then we are going to say to start, start activity with this intent. Okay, now let's move to the next one. So, turn the switch on, go to the second, go to third,
We haven't made anything.
and if I do the long click, it goes to the left one, okay? Now, what do I want to do?
So, one thing. So, could you just, okay, got it.
Yeah?
No, got it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so
So from third activity, go to the main activity directly,
We have to create an intent.
or we can. Do we have to create an intent, or we can some return function?
yeah, let's, we have to create intent,
Yes.
okay? But depends the way we create the intent, it can do different things. It could, for example, you have activity 1, you put on the stack, activity 2, you put on the stack, and then on activity 3, you put on stack, okay? You have this 3. And from the 3, you want to go to the 1. You could go to one that you remove both and go back to the one, or you could create another one here,
Which is one.
okay?
Okay. Which one is suggested?
What?
Which one is suggested? Like, are both of them well to do, or is like any one of them is suggested? Best practice.
Best practice normally is for you to go back, because if you have 1, they go 2, 2, 3, and then you back 2, 3, you could end up,
It's in the memory.
yeah, out of memory, okay? But there are occasions that maybe you want to
For faster
repeat
processing.
the, I don't know why, but maybe you want. Depends on the application, maybe something that you want to repeat. For example, if you look at Instagram, you go to one user, you go to their followers, maybe you go to one follow user, go to you are repeating the same one. That's one that probably you want to put on the stack. You don't want to like keep it back and change, because you're going to change what was before. The logic will be more hard for you to implement. And if the user ends up having lost all the memory, he knows probably he went like crazy, got into the follow of the follow of the follow of the follow. Okay? And what if I want to pass information between the third activity back to the second one? We just showed you how to pass from this to intent, but we could also send information back. How we do that? We have a function called on back pressed. Okay? If we remove here this, it keeps empty. Down. If I press back, it does nothing. Why is that? Because I implemented on backpressed. Because normally I call is finishes. Finish what? Finish the activity. It tries to destroy itself. Okay? When you call finish. You can call it other places than here. You could have a button that finishes the activity. Okay? But normally we want to send some information back. Okay? So here on the second activity, when start activity, we could have start a start activity for result, I think. Okay. That you have an integer, a result counter, and some options if you want. Okay. That you could have for intent, and the result code is kind of like a number, like 1001. Oh, 2001. Okay. It's, if you see that, it has line there. Why is that? This is deprecated. It means what? Latest versions of Android, you get rid of this. Okay? So it will not be working if you're going to maintain your code later on. Okay? And then here, I'm going to pass information back. What do I need to do? I need to create intent. Also, intent equals new intent. But this time I'm not passing any arguments. Why is that? Both of them are already created. So I don't need to create anything new. It's going back to the other one. Okay? So then I'm going to put X intent. Put X. Let's put another X. Third. Yes. And then I'm going to say set result with, I have two options set result, just for result code and result code intent data. Why is I just have result code? Because maybe you want to do something like that. Camera, take a picture. Normally take a picture, then results with result code probably okay, or if you have an error, and then the content of the photo, something like that, some information about the photo itself. But maybe you ask something else, don't know, check the battery state, stuff like that. They just stuff, okay or not okay? Or maybe Wi-Fi is on, okay? No, okay. So result. So I have here cancel, okay, first user. So let's return okay, and then I'm going to pass the intent. Okay, and then on finish, the other will have access to this result here. But to have access to that, here we need to implement on activity result. that receive the request code, the one that we send, the result code, the one that we get back here, and the intent self, the data that can be null. If request code equals 2001 and the result code equals result, okay, we can use this intent, okay. Get string extra. I called, I don't recall, third. Then I'm going to put set title. Okay, just change the title, make it easy, okay? So now go to second, go to third, show yes here, okay?
So can you go back?
Sorry,
Yeah, can you go back? No. Go back to the main. Yeah, go back and then go again. Yeah. Okay, so it restarts. Okay.
yeah, it's recreating, yes.
It recreates.
Yeah. One thing that we have here, for example, if you're on the third one and you want to go to the first one, let's create here another. Let's create another button here, okay? Just to have that. I just put here as button, okay? That needs to be button 3, I think. Oh, I changed the other button. Okay, let's button 3, just keep it simple, okay? So button 3 equals find view by ID r dot id dot button 3. Button 3 set on click listener, new view on click listener, okay? So pretty much what we did before, okay? Just to listen to click. Now we want to go, just like you asked before, to the first one, okay? Just for you to see what happens, okay? So intent equals new intent third activity dot this main activity dot class. And then start activity with this intent, okay? So turn it on. So, okay, go to second, go to third. The button will go to the first one. If you see here, the switch is off. So it keeps piling up. So here, go to second, back first, third, yes. Okay, so it keeps piling up. We can have here intent set flags. You have here intent dot, and you have here flag here, clear top, launch agent. You have these flag activities brought to front. I can, for example, clear top. Let's see this one. I think this is the right one because they changed it, I think, a couple of years ago. But let's see here. Turn it on, okay? Third, long click, third. No, it doesn't. It cleared the top, but create a new one. We could also, let's see, flag. I think brought to front. I think you not recreate it. Okay. Go to third. No, it didn't brought to front. Let's see, flag, clear top, clear that. I'll have for no animation if you don't want.
The clear task will be nice.
Let's see if clear task. No. Let's Android activity. Go back to first activity. Let's see. I have the single task if you want, but you don't have like stacks. That's not the way that you clear the tag. Actually, you need to implement something by yourself to do that, because it doesn't have like a function to do that, to go back to the first one. Okay. Okay, good. You guys understand the principles of intent and activities? So, I implemented here. Let's keep it simple today. So, I'm going to, let's create a login application. Okay. User, password, and login. Okay. If the user the password is right, you go to the second one. That has. You could put like a checkbox. Okay. Checkbox. Okay. If the message is wrong, toast. Okay. If it's wrong, if it's okay, go to the second one. Now I want you to research a couple of things for me. Okay. I want you to check if they use a check here. Okay, you want to send this information back here and show someplace. Okay, you can choose. No, doesn't matter very much. Okay. I want you to implement this not the way that I did here. You have like a new function for that instead this start activity for result. Okay. just research a little bit. Probably first Stack Overflow, we're going to find that. Search start active for result, deprecated, probably going to find something like that, okay? And one other thing that I want you to research. First do the basic, okay? But if you have time, when you press back, also show a dialog. I really want to log off, okay? Also, Google probably will help you out, okay? I'm doing this to simulate for you to Google a lot, because probably on your final project you're going to do that, because you will not be able to ask me since I'll be on vacation and you guys will need to deliver the final project, okay? So that's it for today, okay?
Sir, what is that, line means?
What's what?
Deprecated. Can you
Deprecated, it means what? Deprecated means that, for example, now we are on version, I think 11 of Android or 12. It means like maybe on the 13 or 14, this function will not exist anymore.
Okay.
So it will not be working anymore. So if you try to implement this function like this, Android Studio say, this function does not exist. That's what this means. They think they find a better way to do the same thing with another way, okay?
So the application that was created before, those need to be updated, or those?
No, you could have also this function, but you need to have an annotation. Kind of like you create something like, let's see, I think it's required function though. You can annotate checking something like requires an API. You could check, oh, this function will only work with API 13. Something kind of like this. So you have part of a code that depends on specific API. Okay?
Sir, can you explain the screen too? What is that checking means?
Just a check to you pass information. True or false that you're going to pass back to the first one. Okay? Maybe put some information here. Can put other check it here. Okay. And put the same information. If he is true also. If he is false also. Okay?
If we click on that check, then this will also be checked.
This also will be checked.
Okay.
Okay?
So,
Yes?
I have one.
Okay, sure. Let me just stop the video recording so it doesn't get